Welcome back to the Cody Cottle Show, episode 4. Is the economy crashing? Da-na-na-na. It doesn't matter. Guys, it does not matter what is going on in the economy. Whether the economy is going up or the economy is going down, if you are worried about that and you're not worried about the things that are within your control, you're already losing control of your life. Let me tell you why. See, I learned a long time ago. I'm only 28 years old, but I've lived through some economic ups and downs. I've lived in a car twice. I've been evicted from my home. I've been poor multiple times. I've built companies to make money, and I've lost all my money. I've been through a few things to learn a few things. And one of the things that I've learned is why everyone else is chattering like right now, like, are we going into a slump? Is the economy crashing? Is the real estate market going to crash? I've learned that successful people, they don't care. Whether the economy goes up or the economy goes down, they make money. Whether it goes up or down, they find success. Why? Because they're focusing on the leading measures in their life, which create the lagging outcomes in your life. See, what I found is in our life, there are going to be so many things that are outside of our control, like the current state of our economy, like the current state of our administration and the decisions that they make, and the people that have power that make decisions beyond what we can do. And what we can do is we can sit around and we can chatter about what we think's going to happen and what we think's not going to happen and gossip and drama, or we can get to work saying, hey, whatever goes on with the economy doesn't matter. I'm going to be good. Because successful people know they're always going to have to pivot. So I want to challenge you today. If you're somebody that's gossiping about the economy and worried about it, really, why are you doing that for real? Are you actually concerned, or are you just bored and trying to make conversation and complain like most people do? Let's be real. And 2, does it really matter in your life? You might be in an industry that could greatly, Cody, I'm in an industry right now. I'm in real estate and I've been crushing it. And I've been selling all these homes and now the real estate market's going down and you don't know what you're talking about, Cody, because I'm selling half as many homes right now and I'm worried for me and my family. I would look at you and say, dude, you are living in one of the most unique times in the real estate market of all time where like my grandma could get a real estate license and sell a home without knowing what she's doing. Houses were selling way over asking price. It was unique. It was totally out of context. And now things are getting tough and you're whining and crying because you don't want to work hard to drive your business up. So what I've learned is you got to be willing to pivot. You got to be willing to roll with it. And if in the down times in the economy, you can still find a way to pivot and crush it and produce fruit and results in your life, you're going to crush it in the times that the economy is just booming. Here's another thing. In down cycles in our economy, more wealth is transferred and created than in up cycles. And then on top of that, if we want to get really real right now, through the COVID process, the U.S. government printed more money than it's ever printed. It was printing more money than it printed for World War II every single day for a period of time. Do you know what that means? That means that there is more capital and cash flow in circulation in the world right now than there has ever been before. Money is moving all over. All you have to do is figure out how to position yourself and pivot in your current state to be able to grab some of it for yourself. So I wanted to make a quick episode because lately I've had some people coming up to me wanting to whine and cry about the current state of the economy. And I just looked at them like, dude, what are you talking about? It doesn't matter whether the economy is crashing or thriving. What matters is what are you doing? What are you doing in your own life? Start taking ownership. You know, it's crazy. I actually love when things get tough in life. I love when the economy gets tough because it shakes out all the weak people. Because, you know, as soon as stuff doesn't start going all fine and dandy and it's not easy, people start giving up. I'll tell you a story. When I was growing up, I played football for 6 years and I knocked my kneecap out of my leg on a picnic table when I was 13 years old. It might have been 14. And it messed up my football career. And I couldn't continue to play football because the knee injury was so bad and I had to have 3 surgeries. And then I remember my doctor, after several years of physical therapy, he's like, hey, you need to start running on this thing more. You need to start conditioning the muscles around it. He's like, hey, join like track and field and cross country and all that stuff and just take it easy. You know, just keep in mind you're building up your strength in your knee. So I joined cross country. I hate running. Like, I ain't David Goggins. And I started, though, running. I remember the first day at practice. I remember showing up, and we had to run a mile, and I'm, like, exhausted, and I'm, like, dying, and my knees hurting. And then the coach comes over. He's like, all right, you guys all warmed up? Okay, we're going to go out for, a 7-mile run now. And I'm like, 7 more miles? I thought that was the workout. Long story short, you fast forward, and I'm at a cross-country race. And I remember the first one, I about threw up. I hated my life. I hated running. I wanted to quit, but I stuck with it, and it was tough. And then I'll never forget my 4th race, and I was always finishing. There was like 100 kids running this thing, and I'm always finishing in like the last 20. I was slow. But I remember I go to this race, and I found out in cross-country that they run rain or shine. That unless there's terrible lightning, they will not cancel the cross-country meet. You run in the rain, even if it's freezing cold. And I show up, and all these kids are whining, and they're all crying, and they're all shivering, and my socks are wet, and it's muddy, and I don't want to be here. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I had an advantage in a race, because I realized that these other kids were so worried about the weather conditions that they were psyching themselves out. And I started getting excited. I'm like, it's raining, and it's muddy, and I got a chance. Like, I could actually win this thing, because they're all whining and crying, and I'm going to run harder. Guys, I was finishing like 80th in my races, and I finished 4th in that race. I did not win. I didn't get 2nd, and I didn't get 3rd, but I got 4th. And I realized that day a very important principle, that when times get tough, when external circumstances outside of human beings' control get tough, that most people get in their head and their performance falls. And I realized that one thing that I have in life is I can develop mental toughness through whatever state of economy, weather, whatever I have to endure, that can give me a competitive advantage. When you're someone like me that didn't grow up very naturally, talented in a lot of different things, you learn how to take advantage of the things that you can, like controlling your work ethic, controlling your mental toughness, working on your mindset so you can have every advantage in your court to win in life, to win in business. So I made this episode because I'm speaking to somebody right now. I feel it right now. I feel it. You're driving in your car, and these words are speaking to you. They are piercing the veil. You're nodding your head right now. This episode was for you. Who cares if the economy's crashing or what happens? What are you focusing on today? Go make today great.